Yes, ma'am. You need to grab your 3 kids and bounce out. What's up, guys? It's Devin Harrington, the average Gen Xer. Welcome back to my channel, where today we're taking a look at some Reddit posts written by women whose partners, who happen to be men, are pressuring them to have more kids. So let's check them out. But first, as I do on every video on this channel, I want to take 1 second to encourage all animal lovers out there. Please consider fostering or volunteering on site for your local animal shelter or rescue. And this is my new foster, and his name is Boski, Boski. He is a recent graduate of a program with incarcerated veterans. So he was trained for 12 weeks and lived over at the Travis State Jail. And he is the goodest boy. Yes, you're so handsome. And he's so ready to be adopted. And speaking of adopted, if you follow my content, my last foster, and that is Miss Ella, has been adopted by a very nice lady with a German Shepherd. She brought the German Shepherd to the shelter to meet Ella, and they played like they had always been best friends, which was not the case when I brought my dogs over to meet her. So she has made huge progress. So fingers crossed that she has found her forever home. So if you love animals, please consider fostering or volunteering on site for your local animal shelter or rescue. I guarantee you there is one somewhere near you, wherever you are in the world, and they would love to have your help. So please do your little part to help save the world. Do it for the animals. Thanks. Okay, from the Regretful Parents sub, this is by user Give Me the SSRIs, and it's titled 3 kids under 3 and partner is pressuring me to have more. What else do you need to say besides that? 3 children under 3. And I think she says she has twins. Yeah, she has 3-year-old twins. So she had twins, and then she had another kid. And so she's got 3 under 3, and her husband wants more. I'm 2 months postpartum. With our 3rd child, and my partner wants another one in 3 years. He talks about it almost twice a week. I'm at the end of my rope. I have a tolerate-hate relationship with my 3-year-old twins and my new baby. She has colic and screams 5 hours a day, with 3-year-old twins also running around screaming. My partner travels frequently for work and is often gone on weekends and says I complain too much. Ma'am, you know what the answer to that is. The next time he is home, you walk out the door and leave him alone with the kids. That's what men need to do. I mean, it sucks that your children could come to harm because their father is so ignorant. But there's way too many of these stories on here where men act like their wives are baby machines that just, are there to cater to the society's view of them, the men, as virile. Like, who gives a shit, man? So what if your dick works? We don't care. My parents live in another state. I know I'm slipping into a mighty depression, and I can't help but regret this baby. When I told my partner I didn't want any more children, he literally punched a hole in the wall of our apartment. Ma'am, there is your answer. If anyone out there is with any asshole that punches walls and ceilings and throws things and breaks furniture because they're just so enraged they can't control themselves, they are a man-child and they do not deserve your time. And that's only gonna get worse. Just, you ever see anyone punch a hole in the wall, that person has no control of themselves. They are a piece of shit because they would actually do damage to someone's wall instead of use their fucking brain. She goes on. I'm not naive in that I understand this behavior will most likely escalate, but I have no support system outside of my partner. This is just the short version of it, but I'm at my wit's end and seemingly out of options. Thanks for listening to my rant. And the comments on this one from user Just Nick, who is a parent. I'm so sorry for your situation, OP. I can only imagine how difficult this is for you right now. Twin toddlers and a newborn with colic? Holy fuck. Exactly, ma'am. Holy fuck. Obviously, I have lots of thoughts I'd like to share, but only you will know what works for you, especially since there's an element of abuse here that is out of my realm of knowledge. Yeah, punching the wall is abuse. Doesn't matter that you weren't standing where they punched the wall. Punching, breaking furniture, punching walls, all of that childish nonsense. Can you tell I grew up with a stepfather that did that? We had like a dining table with 6 different chairs at it because he would destroy chairs. He would get so mad that he would destroy a kitchen chair on the regular. And that's why we had 6 different chairs. Oh my God. This commenter goes on. First off, it's super easy for the other parent to want more kids when they aren't already parenting any. Yeah, also when they also don't have to do anything except get off. I mean, she has to do all the work, and he's telling her she complains too much. This is why women are just not interested in men anymore, because they're just trash. If your significant other is that convinced about it, let him take one weekend with all 3 kids and you literally leave for the weekend so he can actually see how hard it is when he's gone. Obviously, only do this if you know your kids will be safe. You don't know they'll be safe though, because this guy sounds like he's going to get upset and enraged, and he's going to punch the walls, and the kids are going to be crying, and it's going to be a disaster, and he's going to call his missus and scream at her to come home and take care of these kids. See, this is just, oh God, man. And this is this woman's life now for the many years to come. This is her life. If she can escape this guy, which it's going to come down to that, this is just going to get more and more unbearable until she either sticks around long enough that her kids grow up and get out of the house, which is what grandma used to do, or she is going to escape and get her kids out of there. The commenter goes on, second, you should plan to get on some form of birth control as soon as you can. Do not leave this up to chance. Protect yourself. It looks like he is purposefully trying to tie you down with lots of kids so you can't leave. 3 kids is already hard enough. You shouldn't be forced into having more. No, you absolutely shouldn't. Third, it sounds like you could just table the conversation until later since your new baby is only 2 months old and he wants another in about 2 years. I'd just skirt around this topic for the time being. When my baby had colic and was screaming for hours a day, I literally didn't have the mental capacity to fight a battle like that. Kick the can down the road and avoid the topic until later. Fourth, and I know you already hinted at understanding this, but there are a lot of red flags here for abuse from your significant other. I honest to God don't know anyone who, with a 2-month-old, talks twice a week about having another already and then punches a hole in the wall if the answer isn't immediately, oh my God, yes. As you hold a screaming newborn, yeah, if the OP ever sees this, that is so unacceptable and inappropriate as to be laughable that any quote unquote grown ass man would behave that way. Is your significant other dealing with postpartum depression? Guys can get it too. It sounds like he could benefit from therapy just to work through why he wants so many kids when he's not even there as it is. Yeah, it's not about having kids. It's about his misogyny and wanting to use his missus as a baby machine. He's probably got a breeder fetish or some bullshit like so many men do. It's disgusting. Are you able to have reasonable conversations with him? Like, can you just say, I'm exhausted talking about this. Can we table this discussion until little one is 2 years old? If he respects you at all, he will understand how much he has dumped on you by traveling all the time and physically not helping with the brood that he imposed on you. Yeah, and he says he's traveling for work. Is he? I mean, really? Is he? You sure about that? The least he can do is not bring this topic up for a while. Obviously, you should be evaluating whether this is a relationship you should stay in. Obviously not. I mean, the moment a man punches a hole in a wall, that's it. You're done. Because therein is his entire personality all in one spot. And you get to look at it now every day until it's fixed. And then what are you going to do? Just keep fixing holes in the walls? I mean, because it never ends. It never ends. The least he can do is not bring this topic up for a while. Obviously, you should be evaluating whether this is a relationship you should stay in, and then all the usual topics apply. Seek legal counsel, seek therapy, figure out your financial situation, etc. So sorry you are dealing with all of this, OP. And the OP responded, "This was eye-opening and insightful. Thank you." Executive JM commented, "Get your tubes tied or get on birth control without him knowing. Maybe the depot shot. Something untraceable that he won't feel. These are options, just in case you can't leave. Leaving may not be an option for you right now, but it's definitely something you should do. Save money and make a plan to dip ASAP. Yes, ma'am. You need to grab your 3 kids and bounce out." Okay, next post is from the Child Free sub, and it's by user Curious Jane 2137. "My friend had a very traumatic delivery, but her husband is constantly pressuring her to have another baby. What a dick. Trigger warning, tearing and PPD mentioned. My friend had a high-risk pregnancy and had to rest all the time to avoid giving birth prematurely. She was scheduled for a C-section, but the doctors at the hospital ignored that and forced her to give birth vaginally. I don't know how it works in the USA, but this is a very common practice in my country, and it's fucking barbaric." Oh, God. So maybe an African country or a Middle Eastern country. Sorry, Africa and the Middle East. Not trying to rag on you, but countries that are heavy on religion are the ones that treat women the worst. And that's just a fact. She goes on. "She tore badly and almost bled to death." Yeah, so look up 4th-degree vaginal tear. Their Mayo Clinic has a very good drawings, very lifelike drawings of what vaginal tearing, all 4 degrees, look like. And none of them look very fun to me. I think a hard pass on vaginal tearing. Thanks. "Her son was close to being permanently disabled, but the midwives saved him, and he's fine. She was deeply traumatized for months after that birth and suffered from severe postpartum depression. If it weren't for therapy and psychiatrists, I don't know if she'd be here today. And that was almost 3 years ago." Anyway, do you know what her husband's been doing all this time? Oh, God. He's complaining that they don't have enough sex and that his needs aren't being met. And he's constantly pressuring her to have another baby because he wants at least 3 kids. Not to mention that after the birth, he left her alone in the hospital. Ma'am, come on. This is not acceptable. Men are going to keep acting this way until every last godforsaken female on earth of childbearing age has standards and will not accept this kind of treatment until every last woman says, "Nope, you're going to leave me alone in the hospital, then I'll be moving out and taking this kid with me," or not. Let's see. I got inspired to write this post because I just had a conversation with her and she said she'd rather get cancer than be pregnant again. Absolutely fucked up. Yeah. And apparently in a country where this is just par for the course. That's just how it is. That's what you got to just deal with. You're female, so you're second-class citizen. You got to put up with this treatment. That's what women have been told for thousands and thousands of years. And now it's taken social media connecting the world to get women to start talking to each other and realizing how wrong all of this is. Oleha Elephant, well, that's really sad. I hope she has good access to contraceptives which don't require his involvement. She could consider getting a permanent sterilization without him knowing. He sounds like a piece of shit. Yes, he does. The OP responded, "It's illegal for a woman to get sterilized in my country." I wonder if it's illegal for a man to get a vasectomy in whatever country she's in. Proxy prone. I got curious and looked up what countries it's illegal in. Most are not surprising, but Poland is throwing me. I would not expect Poland to outlaw women being sterilized either. Poland seems like a fairly modern, at least Europeanized, if not westernized country. Pony Tono. Sadly, Poland is pretty much medieval when it comes to women's and LGBT rights. Oh, that's a bummer. Smart Mind. Poland is a dystopia with reproductive health. Well, there you go. It's also a fairly religious country. Catholic, I think. Oh, and the OP does indicate that she is from Poland. Matt BD commented, "That made me wonder if in Poland the medical establishment still does symphysiotomies in preference to C-sections. They did that in Ireland. Jesus Christ, it's when they cut the pelvic, they cut the pelvis ligament that holds the two pelvic bones. They cut it and open it to widen the pelvis, and it's excruciating and horrific and barbaric. Something only men could come up with. They did that in Ireland, also a strongly Catholic country, for years after just about everyone else had stopped doing it. And it's absolutely horrific, involving basically sawing the pelvis open to widen the birth canal. Women who had it done had long-term health problems as a result for years afterwards. I really, really hope not. Vegan Monkey, when you said they do natural birth against the woman's wishes, I thought it was the Netherlands. They used to be barbaric there. Not sure if that's any better now, but sterilization is legal at least. Can your friend go to Germany and get it done? But on the other hand, she has good reason to not want sex with that hopefully soon to be ex-husband. Yes, ma'am, please, please get a divorce. And finally, also from the Regretful Parents sub, this is from user to be or not to be. 2 kids is too much for me. After 4 years of being very clear that I'm a one and done person, something got into me as I turned 35 and went on a mission to have another kid so my older one would have a sibling who will be around for life. Why do people do that? Why do they ruin a good thing for an only child? Everyone should get to be an only child. You don't need siblings. Go out and make some friends. What is this nonsense about my child needs a sibling? They need someone to compete with. They need someone that they don't have really anything in common with by the time they grow up and they barely see them. Do you think all siblings are going to be best friends? Like, what kid wouldn't want to be the apple of both parents' eye, the only one? Nobody needs a sibling. After getting pregnant, we went back and forth about continuing the pregnancy. 4 excruciating months later, we were still pregnant and had our baby a few months ago. In the beginning, it was all right. The baby would sleep and nap, and I didn't feel regretful. Now that naps have turned to crap and nighttime sleep is fading away, I have no time to be myself or be with my older one. Yeah, exactly. The new baby needs all your attention, so it's like you throw the older one away. And it doesn't matter what you try to do to remedy that. That's just the way it is when you have multiple kids, in my humble opinion, on my humble channel. She goes on, and the regret is coming back real hard. I feel stuck and stupid for adding another child to our lives when both of us are not exactly built for it. We've been doing our best to take care of both kids, and we always make them feel loved. But inside, I'm anxious, tired, regretful, and sad. It feels awful to say this, but I wish I could redo 2023. Yeah, see, that's the worst part of kids. And that's why child-free women are on every platform screaming into the void to warn younger women to be aware of all of these things that women never knew for a gazillion years. Someone who deleted their account commented, I'm in your exact shoes. I have a 2.5-year-old and an 8-month-old, both boys. Yikes. My regret was pretty strong with my first. Things got a bit better after the baby phase, and those hormones wanting another baby came back very strong. I felt guilty he didn't have a sibling. Wah. You should have got him a puppy. Fiance wanted another kid as well, so I didn't think it would be too bad. Now my regrets are immense, debilitating, depressing. They intensified so much after my second, and it made me realize how easy things were with just one kid. Yeah, why do people think it's going to be easier with two kids? It's easier when you have two dogs or two cats because animals keep each other company. Oh, oh, your big squish face, huh? But kids are not the same. You got to watch kids. They're not going to babysit each other. She goes on. The parents who are one and done have the right idea. I love my kids so much. Don't get me wrong, but I hate this with every fiber of my being. Regardless, there will not be a third. The shop is closed, and I'm ready to move forward from having babies. Motherhood is the biggest lie and scam that is fed to us women. I hope things can get better for you. I'm sorry for your situation. Fair enough. Motherhood is an absolute lie. There is no guarantee that you'll feel no greater love. There is no guarantee you'll be fulfilled in a way you wouldn't be otherwise. Fulfillment means different things to different people. But women have just swallowed whole this idea for thousands of years, particularly because of religion, that because some of us can have kids, that we should just keep on doing it, even though we've overpopulated the planet already. But that's a whole other video. The OP responded, likewise, wishing you well and peace and happiness. And then she said, thank you to everyone for your support. It's a sensitive topic, and I had nowhere to vent. I'm sitting here crying, partly because I'm just exhausted, anxious, and sad, but also because some of the comments here gave me some hope. That's really nice. Your dad is ugly. Said, I hate that we did this to parents, especially moms. We've isolated people and shamed them into thinking their feelings are wrong when they're surprisingly common. Hang in there. I wish things get better for you. I hope a year from now you can be past this stage. Yeah, that's what the internet has taught people, that our experiences of the quote unquote normal things or normal path in life are very similar, regardless of our culture or location. And then someone who deleted their account said, all I can say is it's absolutely okay to admit how difficult going from 1 to 2 kids is. The old adage of siblings does not guarantee anything. I think often we as parents want to fantasize a future that may or may not come true. Exactly. Totally. For example, I have siblings. We got along as kids, but as adults, we truly live very different lives. We are not close. Half the time, they don't even call me on my birthday or other special occasions. Yeah, I have 3 younger brothers. 2 of them have been Jehovah's Witnesses, very devout for 30 years and converted as adults. So, they don't do any Christmas or birthdays or any of that. I started a family text with those 2 brothers and me and my mom. So, we keep in touch that way. And then my youngest brother, who my mom had with my stepfather, he is very much like his stepfather. I haven't spoken to his father. He's very much like his father, whom I have not spoken to in 22 years. So I don't really talk to my youngest brother all that much because we just end up on the wrong side of each other. So yeah, siblings mean nothing. It's really sad that people burden themselves with extra kids when they could have given one kid the great experience of being an only child. They more or less live their lives, and I live mine, as after years of making attempts to have them involved, even in my children's lives, they have had very little interest, so I gave up on that. I think the idea of having more just to appease your current child is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm so sorry you fell into this trap. We did too, but absolutely put a permanent stop to any more. Sometimes the temperament makes a huge difference too. My two are chalk and cheese. Eldest is a sweetheart. The youngest has been very challenging after the first 3 months. Sleep issues, tantrums, climbing, mean to the eldest. No issues with development, just a very clever child who is hard work as we near the corner of 3. Finally, there is light coming through, and it's getting better, but I could have done life without the last 3 years. It ages you, it kills your relationship. And I found it made me less patient with my eldest because I truly had nothing left to give after dealing with the youngest, who takes so much from me and pushes all of us to our limit. Oh, God, yeah. Don't ever have that second kid, because everyone who has the first kid who is well behaved and easygoing, it never fails. The second one is always a nightmare. She goes on, it is getting better, but it wasn't worth the many losses. I can hand on my heart say, had I known what I was in for, I would have just stuck with the one. As a former fence sitter to begin with, having had one would have been the good compromise I could have made. The pressure for another due to emotional sentiment was both illogical and outright nonsensical. Wishing you much luck, and if you can get help, I say use it and ask for help. Good luck, Mama. Yep. To all the women out there who are in relatively free countries, remember that you do have a choice. And I think I have met one person in my life who was an only child and wished they had more people around them. But for the most part, being an only child is badass. I am my father's only child, my real father, and it was great. It was the best. So if you're on the fence about having a second kid or having more kids, don't think with your emotions. Don't be sentimental about it. There's nothing sentimental about getting up every 2 hours to have a newborn destroy your tits. I mean, doesn't sound like a good time to me. So, as I said previously in another video, I was thinking about this concept and how women have a choice nowadays that even just one generation ago, my mom is a boomer, born right after World War II. She didn't feel like she had a choice. Women today, just keep in mind that our lives today are literally the living dream of many of our female ancestors. The majority of your female ancestors would give anything to have the freedoms that we have today. So just keep that in mind. And that's what I have for you today, guys. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, please hype it. I thank everyone, as always, for stopping by to hear me talk shit on the internet, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.